Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome to another Democracy 3 Africa series. It has been a while since I picked up this game, and I figure, hey, we've got a few days until Civilization 6 comes out, why don't we go ahead and pick this up? I know people have been asking for it, and I'll be honest, I've been procrastinating the hell out of Democracy 3 simply because it is election season in the United States right now. Tensions are high, my own included, and I just wasn't really sure I wanted to get into a political game right now, but you know what? People want it, so we're gonna give it a shot. Now, this time around in Democracy 3 Africa, we will be playing with all of the DLC. In the past, we've only done social engineering and extremism. Today, I am adding on clones and drones and the new electioneering expansion, which we did play with last time in Democracy 3 Vanilla, the proper version. We played as France, and if you recall my final verdict from electioneering, it does add some pretty cool realistic features to the game. But at the same time, if you're pretty competent with the game, you don't really need the help of electioneering to sway public opinion. They'll love you anyway. How is that going to translate into Democracy 3 Africa? I don't know yet. We're going to give it a shot. Now, if you've already seen the thumbnail and or read the title, you know that I have chosen Zambia today. And I've chosen Zambia because I personally believe this to be the most difficult nation in Democracy 3 Africa. A lot of people thought it was Egypt for some reason. I don't know why. I suspect it's because Quill18 and some other people played this pretty early on when the expansion was released, or when the vanilla game was released, and they had a hard time with it, so people assumed it was really, really hard. No, I still think that Zambia holds that crown, and you will see why pretty soon. Overall, very low human development index, a little bit higher than places like Nigeria, perhaps, but it's got a whole mess of crisis events going on, and you'll understand why when we get in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit play. As far as a party name, I think we will be playing as the Super Serial Party, because we are super serial. As far as an opponent's name, I guess we might as well just go with Man Bear Pig, right? Absolutely. Man Bear Pig. The Super Serial Party versus Man Bear Pig. Why am I making some South Park Al Gore references? I don't know. Because we're including the Clones and Drones mod pack, or expansion. And that has a lot more effect on climate change, so we're going to take it super serial, guys. Term length is automatically 5 years, term limit is 2, which is a little bit low, but we'll see what we can pull off in 10 years. No compulsory voting, no monarchy, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to touch the difficulty this time around, because I want to see how electioneering works in Democracy 3 Africa without messing with the difficulty too much. I'm thinking that maybe the next campaign I do, I will bump it up to maximum difficulty and show you guys how that's done. But for now, I want this to be pretty accessible. I want to see how electioneering works. I want to add in clones and drones, because this is the first time I've actually played Democracy 3 Africa with the clones and drones expansion active. Because, you know, I don't really like that mod pack. But this time, we're going to stick with it. So, let's fix the country's problems. Yay! Okay, everybody, welcome to Zambia. This is the summary. It's all gone to crap. GDP is non-existent, health is non-existent, education is non-existent, we are impoverished, we have tons of crime, unemployment is ridiculous. We have 0% of the vote to start us off. It's so freaking bad in Zambia. That said, we do have a 3.83 billion surplus of the Zambian kwacha, I think is the currency. Somebody can correct me if I am wrong on that point, but let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, look at all the red! Look at it all, it's so terrible! What do we have today? We have foreign intelligence, we have border tensions, we have HIV and AIDS, we have malaria, we have homelessness, we have an uncompetitive economy, technology backwater, there we go, skill shortage, pollution, we have bad infrastructure, poor transport links, and power blackouts, asthma. We have religious persecution, vigilante mobs, city riots, military interference, ghettos, street gangs, which one's this? Extreme nationalism, armed robbery, and race riots. Yeah, Zambia's not looking so good. And you can notice, by the way, that not a single group particularly loves me right now. Again, 0% of the vote. In fact, conservatives, which make up 100% of the population, absolutely despise me. Yeah, this is really, really bad, to put it lightly. And I'm going to make it better. Because that's just how awesome I am. Now, I know that some people will be disappointed that I didn't raise the difficulty on this, so what I'm going to do then, in order to add a little bit of extra challenge to this, is I am going to make Zambia into a liberal capitalist nation. Right now, they are currently conservative and socialist. We're going to turn this around. By the end of this campaign, I will make them liberal and capitalist, and they're going to like it, and I'm going to solve all the frickin' problems. Okay? Okay. Now, to our credit, we do have some perks. Right now we have Mineral Wealth. We have Natural Wonder. What Natural Wonder is in Zambia? I actually don't know. We also have an Endangered Species, which adds extra tourism, which is pretty nice. Okay, where do we begin when things are this freaking bad? Well, my personal belief is that no country can survive without the rule of law. Otherwise, we basically have just gone into anarchy. If you can't enforce the rule of law, then there's not going to be any economic investment. There's not going to be any help from outside powers and foreign powers, and so on and so forth. So the first thing that I want to do in this case is probably max out the funding for the police. There we go. Conservatives will be a lot happier by that. Liberals don't mind it so much. It's one of the few ways you can actually improve your law and order without upsetting liberals in the process. Violent crime and crime go down. Corruption also goes down, which is really going to be good for us. Street gangs and vigilante mobs will take a pretty substantial hit, and it only costs me, for political capital, I'll have to spend a couple 100 million kwachas extra, though. Which I'm fine with. That's not so bad. Let me see, what else did I want to do? I took some notes here, just to get me started. Ah, right, of course. Armed police. Let's give all of our police guns. In fact, should I just go ahead and max it out? Oh wait, that's intelligence services. That's not quite what I had in mind. Although we should do that too. Armed police. There we go. Right now we only have specialists, which is great in theory. However, if I max it out and give them all submachine guns, which is a little bit drastic, I'm aware, inner-city riots will almost immediately end, street gangs go down, armed robbery practically goes away entirely, race riots go down. Basically, if we just threaten to kill literally everybody who causes problems in the country, problem solved, and we will be perceived as a strong leader in the process. Hooray! Liberals will not be happy. So this is only a temporary stopgap measure. Eventually, I probably will want to lower this, which, by the way, because of the electioneering mod, I keep saying mod, but I mean the expansion or the DLC. You know what I'm talking about. Because of that, though, that's a little bit problematic, because if we go to public opinion, if I go to... I don't know if I want to go to parties. Can I look at perceptions? There we go. Right now, I'm not seen as very I'm kind of not really trustworthy. I'm not really distrustworthy either. The more I flip-flop, the more trustworthy goes down. So raising up armed police with the intention of reducing it later is actually going to hurt my trust quite a bit. But we'll do the best we can to counteract that in due time. Let's see. We should also consider passing maximum intelligence. That will reduce the foreign intelligence interference significantly. Liberals are not happy, but here's the thing. Who cares if liberals aren't happy? There are 0 liberals in Zambia right now. It doesn't even matter. So I will do whatever I need to, dang it, in order to fix all these problems. We should also, however, consider some other alternative options for policing. Now, this may seem a little counterintuitive because I'm going to kind of shoot myself in the foot right now, and I'm going to pass community policing. Now, you may say, what the heck? Why on earth would you pass community policing right now? You were just bragging about how there are no liberals, you can do whatever you want. Well, that's true, except I already kind of made the promise that I'm going to go for liberal capitalist society. We got to start somewhere. This is actually going to do a lot to reduce the racial tension that is leading to the race riots. It will also do a lot to reduce street gangs. Yes, it will increase our membership. Yes, these people will be mad at me. Yes, it makes things harder. But I already told you, I'm trying to make this harder on myself so you feel like it's actually a challenge. And it's going to be a challenge, but I think the more we have reducing crime and violent crime right now, the better. Even if I have to pull on some liberal sources a little bit prematurely in order to do that. Okay. What else do we want to do? Well, we've done a lot so far to try and reduce crime, just in turn 1. Let us also consider a couple things as far as the economy. You guys know that if I'm going for capitalist, I am a huge fan of the enterprise investment scheme. There you are. It's only going to cost me a few points to get it started, but it will increase the GDP significantly. A lot of people will start becoming self-employed. Socialism membership goes down, which is even better for me. High earnings does go up, so income inequality will get worse, but that's fine. You know, there's not a lot of high earners in the first place. We don't have a wealthy class. We're all impoverished. We're going to create a wealthy class. And then we can worry about income inequality and, you know, class warfare and stuff. Hooray! It'll be fine. We also want to reduce poverty, and one of my favorite methods to do that in the early game is, we could do food stamps, but that's a little expensive. What if we do the free school meals? It only costs 80 million kwacha, which is not a big deal, and it will reduce the poverty rather substantially. We're talking about 13.78%. It also increases health, which we really need as well, so it's a double whammy of awesomeness. And it makes parents happy, it makes socialists happy even though we just passed the enterprise investment scheme, blah blah blah. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. We only have 3 political capital though, so we are going to move on to the next turn. We have an STD education program now. There is a significant incidence of sexually transmitted disease amongst our people. Yeah, no kidding. In order to stem any further spread, it has been recommended that we undertake a national program of education based on the latest international research. Foreign aid has been promised to go back the campaign. So we definitely need to start this. It will upset the conservatives, which they already hate me. It will upset the religious because they don't like even bringing up, that sex is a thing. But we need to do this. I think it will have a direct impact on our HIV and AIDS, which is a pretty substantial problem right now. Let's see. Yep, see, this is going to reduce it by 30%, so gradually this will start going down. And this is having a huge impact on health. Just getting rid of HIV and AIDS in the first place is going to do so much for Zambia. It also will make a lot of people like me, too. That's like 25% with all voters. I mean, just swinging them my way is going to be huge if we can pull that off. So we're going to do it. Now, that said, I do need to be careful about how much political capital I am generating, and I kind of want democracy to be a little on the low side right now so that I can generate most of the political capital myself and not rely on the cabinet. But at the same time, right, I don't want to go so far down the dictator route that I can't switch it back to democracy later because liberals and capitalists are going to want a democratic system. And if I flip-flop too much, the trustworthiness is going to be a serious issue. So I want to pick like one or two things, just like one or two freedoms to restrict to make myself more of a dictator that I might be willing to keep in the long term. And the first thing that comes to mind is none other than freedom of the press. There you go. What if we just eliminate it? No freedom of the press. Now here's what's cool about this, right? First off, it has like no impact on corruption. Actually, the interesting thing is if we give a lot of freedom to the press, corruption will go down, but if I do nothing, it doesn't really go up. So it's actually no big deal. We do reduce our democracy a ton. We also really upset the non-existent liberals. Here's the weird thing, though. It actually gets completely counteracted by the fact that everyone likes me better. Why? Because I'm controlling all of the information in the country. Think North Korea. Okay? They all think that America is this horrible place and people are trying to escape into North Korea. Why? Because they have complete and utter dominance of all information in the country. Well, that's what we're going to do in Zambia right now, and as a result, I'm going to boost popular opinion by 25%. It's a win-win across the board. It cost me 30 political capital, which is a lot. I admit it, but it's still pretty good. All right, what else do we need to do? Okay, hang on, let me think. So we are dealing with crime that's going down significantly. We need to deal with health. And we need to deal with education. Education is going to be huge for us right now, especially if we can deal with the skill shortage and so on. That'll improve our GDP, it'll improve our technology, which will get rid of the technology backwater. So many things that we need right now as far as education. So if we go to public services, actually the first thing right here is really good. Adult education subsidies will only cost me 75 million kwacha, but it is really good at improving education and reducing the skill shortage. In fact, that's really what it's deliberately intended to do, is to reduce the skill shortage, because we are sending adults back to school, training them, specializing them, and applying them to the workforce. Productivity goes up, education goes up, skill shortage goes down by 17%, and it doesn't cost me much of anything at all. I love adult education subsidies. What else do we want to do? We only have 5 points left. Can I invest anything in health? Food stamps, possibly. Health food subsidies are actually really solid. Wow, 16 million kwacha is practically nothing. Okay, yeah, we're going to pass this. This will improve the poor earnings because they're spending less food on organic stuff, and health goes up by almost 8% for practically nothing, which is really, really solid. Actually, you know what? That makes me think about expenditure. What are we spending on right now? State health services is ridiculously expensive. That doesn't surprise me at all, and the reason for it is because our health is so low that everyone has to go to the hospital, and a big contributor to that will be HIV and AIDS. So any way that we can get rid of this is going to be very, very high on my priority list. In fact, we may want to consider doing that next turn, possibly get some family planning going on. Alright, the inner city riots are already at an end. Turns out those submachine guns are very, very effective. We just killed everybody that was causing a riot. Children's food. A law has been proposed to regulate the fat content and nutritional value of food sold to children, including food sold in fast food restaurants. We are definitely going to regulate it. Capitalists will not like it, but we need the health. If health does not go up, productivity is going to be really low, and the GDP can't grow as a result. So we don't really feel like I have much choice. Okay. You know, the interesting thing is we actually don't have female genital mutilation on here. which shocks me. That's usually one of the big ones you have in a lot of African nations in this game. Fascinating. Okay, let's focus on a little bit more poverty. Do I want to go for welfare and food stamps? Yeah, food stamps is really good. It is a lot more expensive than the free school meals, but it basically does the exact same thing. It also boosts up our equality pretty substantially, which is great. Health goes up, poverty goes down. Across the board, not half bad. And we start looking like a compassionate leader as a result, because we're giving money to the poor. I mean, I don't know where this money is coming from. Somehow we have a surplus, but we've got it, and we're going to spend it to help people. We should also consider getting some public libraries, because those are pretty effective at improving education and equality. We should also consider getting tech colleges, also very good for dealing with a skill shortage and so on, because we're going to give a huge chunk of money toward education and technology. Socialists don't really like it. Equality goes down. You know, I've thought about this a little bit as far as technology colleges, and I keep saying I don't know why this is making equality worse, not better, because you would think that this gives more opportunities to the poor to go to tech colleges, get a good job, and maybe we can raise everybody else up. But I don't know, I actually can see an argument for why technology colleges would make equality worse, because what you're doing is separating the scientific specialists versus the generic working labor, right? So I guess in a way, it actually might make income inequality and such worse. Even if it does offer more opportunities to the poor, it means that those who have this kind of an education are going to have a significant advantage over everyone else. Maybe that's the logic behind it, I don't really know. Either way, it's going to cost me 168 million kwacha, and I'm totally okay with that. You know, while we're on the subject of education, I had a thought. And one of the things that I want to do is actually early on push for school vouchers. School vouchers are freaking awesome in this game. A measure designed to encourage the growth of private schooling whilst still enabling everyone to afford an education. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take some tax dollars, we're going to make them a voucher, we're going to hand them out to all parents with children and say, all right, pick your school, spend this money, this is guaranteed government money, go to any school you want. You know, as long as they actually, it can only be spent on schools. It's not like welfare, like we're giving you a minimum income, but you know, it's kind of another form of welfare. But it also kind of has a capped amount. So suppose we're spending $3,500 a student instead of $6,000 in public schools. It's cheaper. It actually could result in a better education because private schools will be competing with each other to earn those vouchers. That's the idea behind it. And in this game, it actually works really well and really, really increases the capitalism membership. Look at this. Socialism membership will go down by 11.13%. We love that. Private schools will become a dominant thing. Now, I'm not going to have dominant control over education in this country, but that's fine. As long as private schools is really high, education will end up doing pretty darn well. And right now, Zambia starts off with pathetically low education, I think. Is this it? State schools. Oh yeah, we have wooden schoolhouses. Like, come on. Why invest billions of kwacha into a state school when I can do it for significantly cheaper when I just invest in private schools? I mean, well, might as well. It would have been one thing if I already had really high state schools, and it's like, well, I don't want to invest even more money kind of being redundant with private schooling. But since it's already so low, we might as well take advantage of it. In fact, I'm very tempted at some point to get rid of a lot of state healthcare services and moving toward a healthcare voucher system as well. But that's a little bit of a lower on the priority list. It's an idea. We could consider it, but not right now. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for the female genital mutilation ban. Now, I know we don't have the negative crisis of the female genital mutilation, but I figure we might as well give it a shot because it tends to make women very happy, and women are kind of an important voter demographic, and also kind of a pretty murderous voter demographic. I have died to women a lot in Democracy 3 Africa in my spare time, so we're going to do this. I almost always find it to be necessary, and it's also pretty cheap. Now, I recall last time that I was actually working on Democracy 3 Africa, we passed this. I think I saw a comment saying, you know, we talk a lot about female genital mutilation. Well, why do we allow for male genital mutilation in, say, even the United States today? And the developed world still allows this. I mean, I don't know. Most of it's a cultural thing. I don't really know the answer, like what kind of an answer to give you on that, you know? As far as I'm aware, it doesn't really cause a lot of health issues for men, if much at all. As a married man myself, I can tell you that I am still very much able to enjoy sex with my wife, but the female genital mutilation, it literally makes it impossible for women to find pleasure in sex, and they do it for religious reasons. But I don't think that those kind of health downsides exist for male genital mutilation, if you want to call it. I see it as more a cultural thing, personally. This one I see as just kind of outright oppressive. But I know there are people with a lot of different opinions on that, and as long as you are respectful, you are more than welcome to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Tourists targeted in terror attack. Ah, crap. A popular resort has been attacked by terrorists. So tourism goes down, foreign relations goes down, basically everyone's unhappy. And no one wants to come to my country because it sounds scary. It's fine, I'm working on it. Look how fast crime has gone down. I mean, seriously, we took so many measures to get rid of crime, and it's having a huge impact. Street gangs is at an end. Vigilante mobs is at an end. We still have 0% of the vote, but we're getting there. And once crime is out of the way, I feel like we'll be in a position to actually work on the economy. So let's move on to the last turn of year 1 and see what else I can do. Now, one thing I did say I want to do is I wanted to get rid of HIV and AIDS, which, by the way, is going way down. I'm actually shocked at how fast it's going down. We need to try and get it the rest of the way, and the best thing I think I can do is family planning. Now, family planning is going to upset the religious a lot, and the conservatives, who already hate me. Okay, cool. But HIV and AIDS will go away, which is massive for my health. Remember, it was like minus 50. Also, family planning is very important to try and make women happy. And as I said before, women being happy is kind of important. So I'm willing to get rid of gender inequality. I'm willing to lower my population growth. I'm willing to upset the religious and the conservatives in order to get rid of HIV and AIDS permanently, improve our education, significantly improve our health, and make women happy. This is a worthwhile thing for me. And the gender inequality also does a double whammy and affects women even more, and liberals as well. So this is actually deceptive because it says it's going up by 13.33%, but it probably is going to go up to like 18% because we're improving gender inequality, right? So across the board, I think that family planning is going to be very good for us. We also... What else should we do? Let me think. Hang on. GDP. Well, no. Let's take a look at our education. What's affecting our education right now? Power blackouts and poor transport links. Yep, we'll need to invest in infrastructure. Civil service wage parity. Not great. What is this? The level of remuneration, I think you mean for monetary stuff. For state employees, civil service wage bill can be a large budget liability. This makes capitalists really unhappy. I don't think I want this. I think I'd rather just get rid of this entirely, but I'm not allowed to. Interesting. Huh. I'm not too sure what this is, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. I did, however, see that we have the child labor laws. Yep, legal. Completely legal. Okay, we need to reduce that. Child labor, basically, it reduces your democracy, which I don't really want to improve, but I think we kind of have to. Education's a huge deal right now. It does improve the GDP, and I'm sad to see that go. But if we don't fix our education, there are so many issues right now that are stemming from poor education that we have to deal with this. It also makes our neighbors unhappy because they think we're very backwards for even allowing children to work in the mines, blah, blah, blah. It's sad and it's going to upset quite a few people and kind of flip the tables around, but we do need to get rid of child labor, I think. It's just necessary. So let's go ahead and do that now and eat that cost. We have 4 points left. Anything else? We'll do a healthy eating campaign. Very cheap. 22 million kwacha. But it also will improve our health by a total of 4.31%. Pretty cost effective. And that is where I'm going to be ending this video. If you guys have seen my series before, then you know full well that I break these up by year, so every 4 turns, regardless of how long I take per turn. But that is one of the reasons I've been talking so fast this video. I apologize if some of you had a hard time keeping up. But the first video usually is the longest, and I really need to push through it. So thank you all for watching. This has been Pravus. I do hope that you are looking forward to the rest of the series. Be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. Leave a comment with your suggestions. And also, if you got some questions and things that you'd like me to talk about a bit more, not only in this game, but also a little bit in real life, you let me know. I'll consider it. And of course, subscribe if you want to see my future content. My name has been Pravus with Democracy 3 Africa and Zambia, and I will see you guys next time.